this the heavy punishment for my pride? Why has fate brought me here? I feel so alone.
It is said that in a grand and powerful kingdom, there once lived a princess of unmatched beauty named Princess Leora. Her beauty was so rare that people said no one in the world could compare to her. Yet her pride was even greater than her beauty.
Next.
She refused to marry any prince or king, no matter how noble or handsome he was. Her father, the king, was deeply troubled by her arrogance. One evening, he went to her chambers.
My daughter, when will you let go of this pride? I stay awake at night worrying about your future. What will happen to you when I am no longer here to protect you?
Father, you worry too much. I will only marry a man who is truly worthy of me. Until then, I need no one.
And if that day never comes, who will stand by you then?
When I find someone equal to me, I will marry him. Until then, I am content.
Oh God, please help me.
Days later, the king, now frustrated and desperate.
Your Majesty, why are you so worried? Is everything all right?
I am worried about Princess Leora.
Princess Leora is rejecting every proposal that comes her way. I have decided. I want to arrange her marriage now.
Send summons to every kingdom immediately. Tomorrow, we will finalize the proposals for Princess Leora. Make sure all the eligible princes are present.
The next morning, the palace garden was filled with princes standing in a long line, dressed in fine royal clothes.
Your Majesty, all the princes have arrived at the palace. Seat them with respect. We are coming shortly.
Leo, my daughter, today you will finalize a prince. Otherwise, I will choose one myself, and do not disrespect the princes.
Okay, Father.
Princess Leora stepped out with her head held high, her expression cold and proud.
No way I'm marrying these cartoon characters.
One by one, the princes came forward. The first prince was heavy and slow. Leora looked at him and said with a mocking smile,
Start walking more. Only then you might get a princess in the future.
The third prince had a pale, sickly face.
You must eat apples and drink milk every morning. Then maybe you'll be perfect for marriage.
The fourth prince had a round red face.
Is this a prince or a rooster dressed for a feast? Absolutely not.
Rejected princes left in anger and humiliation. When the king heard what had happened, he sat in silence, his face dark with disappointment. His minister quietly
Your
said,
Majesty, Prince Sorenzo did not come. He was delayed by royal matters but will arrive tomorrow.
The next day, Prince Sorenzo arrived. He was strikingly handsome, with a calm and dignified presence. The moment Leora saw him, her steps slowed. For the first time, she found herself staring a little longer than she intended. But then she straightened her back, looked him in the eye, and said in the...
I don't want this foolish man. I'm sorry, Prince Sorenzo.
I understand, Princess.
Prince Sorenzo
Farewell.
quietly turned and left without a word. The king exploded in anger. He pointed at his daughter and
Tomorrow
declared,
morning, I will marry you to the very first beggar or wandering singer who appears at the palace gates. And this time, my word will not be broken.
Get out of here!
Father, how can you do this to me? I am a princess of royal blood. How can I become the wife of a beggar?
Next morning, a young man in torn clothes, with messy hair and a long beard, stood outside the palace playing a simple wooden flute. When he finished, the guards brought him inside.
What will happen with me?
Without any further delay, Princess Leora was married to the beggar in the royal court. She cried and begged, but the king did not listen. He handed the beggar a pouch of gold coins and said harshly,
Take her far away from here, never return!
Please, father, don't do this. Please forgive me.
Take both of them away!
I don't want this!
Foolish girl.
And so, the proud princess who once stood before thrones and crowns was now handed over to a complete stranger, a poor beggar. She walked away from the palace in tears, her heart shattered. The beggar silently led her down the road, away from the golden palace where she had once slept on silk and velvet. Her pride had finally cost her everything.
My lady, please walk faster.
I don't have the strength to walk. Please arrange a horse for me.
My lady, I am just a beggar. I cannot afford a horse.
As they journeyed along the path, they passed through a beautiful forest. The princess looked around in wonder and asked with a faint smile,
Whose forest is this?
It belongs to Prince Sorenzo, the same prince you rejected yesterday by calling him a fool.
The princess's steps faltered,
How beautiful
but she
it
said
is.
nothing. A little further on, lush green fields stretched across the land like a beautiful carpet.
And these
She asked,
fields, whose are they?
These also belong to Prince Sorenzo, the one whose heart you broke without any reason.
And this beautiful city.
This too belongs to Prince Sorenzo.
A wave of regret rose in the princess's heart. She thought to herself,
How foolish and proud I was. He was truly handsome, wise, and wealthy. How happy I could have been with him.
finally, they reached a poor and desolate village where the huts had straw-thatched roofs. The princess's heart sank. The beggar stopped in front of a broken, old hut. Surprised, the princess asked,
Where have we come?
This used to be my home. Now it is yours too. Go inside now and make bread for yourself and for me. I'll be back soon.
Is this the heavy punishment for my pride?
Sadness spread across the princess's face. Her eyes filled with tears and her lips trembled with hunger. It felt as though life had brought her face to face with reality. With trembling steps, she entered the hut.
There were no precious carpets, no golden vessels, no sweet fragrance, no servants, and no dining table.
Now she would have to light the fire herself. She would have to knead the flour and bake the bread herself. The smoke stung her eyes, and when the food was ready, she would have to wash the dishes herself as well. The next morning, when the sun's rays slipped through the cracks of the hut, the princess woke up.
It was not a dream. This is reality.
Her husband brought her an old, coarse piece of cloth. The one who once wore only silk now held a thick, faded fabric in her hands. The beggar said gently,
Princess, please take this dress.
Thank you. But it reminds me of what I've lost. This simple gift breaks my heart.
This is your breakfast.
After cleaning the house, he showed her the bamboo sticks he had brought from the forest. The branches were hard and rough. The beggar peeled the bamboo and began teaching her how to weave a mat. Princess Elawara tried to strip the wood with her delicate fingers, but the sharp edge pricked her finger. A drop of blood appeared, and she cried out in pain.
I can't do this.
But the beggar remained calm. He gently bandaged her wound and said softly, Every lesson begins with the first wound. That same evening, he brought an old shirt and asked her to sew it. The princess pushed the needle through the cloth. The needle pricked her finger again. Blood came out once more. Tears began to flow from her eyes. The life she had once spent in luxury and comfort was now quietly teaching her the lessons of pain, hard work, and endurance. The next morning, the beggar returned home with a few sheep walking slowly behind him. He said,
Today you will take these sheep out to graze. Bring them back safely, and also bring fresh grass with you.
The princess looked at the animals in silence. The one who once walked on marble floors beneath golden lamps would now walk barefoot behind sheep. But she said nothing. Quietly, she led the sheep toward the open fields. Soon she reached a vast green valley surrounded by mountains that looked like emeralds. She let the sheep graze freely and began tending to them gently. But suddenly, as she stepped forward, a sharp thorn pierced her delicate foot. She let out a soft gasp. Wincing in pain, she sat down on a small rock and held her foot. Tears filled her eyes. Carefully, she pulled out the thorn. The prick was small, but the pain in her heart was much deeper. By evening, she gathered the sheep and tied a bundle of fresh green grass with her own hands. She walked slowly back home. When she reached the small hut, the beggar opened the door. His eyes fell on the bundle of grass in her hands. A quiet smile.
You did very well.
Her sit on the charpai.
Rest now. You are very tired today. I will prepare food for you.
Then he brought her a simple meal, rice in a small earthen bowl. The princess who once ate from golden plates now began eating the simple food without any complaint. Hunger had made it taste more delicious than any royal feast. Exhaustion had completely overtaken her body. As soon as she lay down on the bed, her eyes closed and she fell into a deep, peaceful sleep. The beggar sat quietly beside her. For a long time, he simply watched her sleeping face. There was no pride now, no anger, only peace and innocence remained, like that of a child.
My love, it is just a short journey. Soon everything will be all right.
The next morning, the beggar said to the princess,
You're not made for this kind of work. Come, I will find you a job washing dishes in the palace. The cook there is an old friend of mine.
Filled with tears, but she said nothing. She quietly nodded her head and walked with him. It was the same palace where Prince Sorenzo lived, the very prince whom she had once rejected and insulted by calling him a fool. The palace kitchen was huge and extremely busy. Princess Elawara spent the whole day silently washing dishes. Blisters formed on her hands, but now she had stopped complaining. But that evening, the atmosphere in the palace was different. Lights were shining everywhere. Colorful curtains were hung. Fragrant flower garlands were beautifully arranged. Servants were running here and there. Everyone was speaking in low voices because an important secret had spread. Prince Sorenzo was getting married, but no one knew who the bride was. As the princess was about to leave, the cook smiled at her affectionately and stopped her. She looked kindly at the princess's old and dirty clothes. Quietly, she slipped pieces of meat and sweets into her pockets. Then she said gently,
Now I am leaving. I have done my work.
Wait, my daughter. At least have a look at the grand hall of the palace today. After all, it's the prince's wedding day.
Princess began peeking inside through a small hole in the door. Music was echoing in the hall. Candles were lit. Guests were dressed in their finest clothes. Everyone looked happy and was chatting. She was still looking inside when suddenly the prince appeared. It was none other than Prince Sorenzo, the same prince she had once insulted. His eyes fell on the princess. With a slight smile, he said,
Seems your curiosity comes with a small price. You will have to dance with me.
But after a few moments, pieces of meat and sweets started falling one by one from the princess's pockets. For a moment, there was complete silence. Then the entire hall burst into laughter. The princess's face turned red with embarrassment. Tears filled her eyes, and she ran towards the door. But the prince immediately followed her. He held her hand firmly yet gently, and took her to a quiet room. Looking deeply into her eyes, the prince said softly,
Do you still not recognize me, my love? I am your husband, the same singer from the streets, the same beggar. and the same foolish prince.
The princess stood speechless in shock. The prince continued.
Your father knew everything. He helped me so that your pride could be broken and you could learn to see the world with truth and sincerity.
The princess was overwhelmed with shame, regret, and sudden joy. She stepped forward and hugged the prince tightly, and began crying like a child. The prince quietly took her in his arms and said, My
queen, there will be no more sorrow now.
The very next moment, the princess entered the hall wearing royal attire beside the prince. Now all eyes were on her. The same girl, who had once woven baskets, sewn clothes with a needle, and herded sheep barefoot. Today she was Prince Sorenzo's queen. It was a beautiful ending to a story, and the beautiful beginning of a new life.
Will this poor beggar be accepted?
Yes, my love.